It sucks to suck, but it's also fun to suck. No, wait, hear me out. I'm gonna be a stay-at-home mom in my garden, and then I have like a 3-day weekend with my kids, and I'm like, never mind, I wanna be a career woman. Photographers, stylists, hair and makeup were like, ew, what are these bloggers and influencers? I'm literally like a manatee floating through the ocean. Like I have no competitive spirit or drive.
What's your childcare situation? Are they in daycare?
yeah.
Do you have a nanny? You look like you do by yourself.
No.
And then it makes me feel like,
Oh my God, no.
I should be able to do it, but I can't.
No.
I am so excited to sit back down in this chair. I feel like I haven't had a second to just connect. I know our episodes are weekly, but I shoot them at different times. So I feel like we had quite a bit of a break. So let me update you about recent life developments. So first of all, recently came back from New York. I don't even know where June, July went, honestly. It's a mystery to me. But we came back from New York and it was one of those trips that it's going to be like a life memory forever. And trust me when I say a life memory, because I don't remember a lot of things that I've experienced. I don't know what it is. I have very selective memory. My mother always makes fun of me. Well, kind of. She's kind of upset about it because I don't remember a lot of things that for her are so monumental. But for me, I guess there was no emotion attached to it. So I just kind of blocked it. Back to the New York trip, there was a lot of emotion attached. Hence why it's going to be a core memory. We did our Creator Method Summit, and the special thing about this one is it was fully a summit. So just to kind of keep you up to date, I don't know how many of you know about Creator Method, but it's something that Gary and I and Rachel, our CEO, have been building and nurturing and really see such a huge vision for it. The vision was truly just to build a community of other creators that can support each other, that can talk to each other, that are also entrepreneurs. Because what a lot of people don't understand in kind of the landscape of content creation is that it truly is entrepreneurial spirit that gets you places. Yes, you are creative, but there's a lot of data, a lot of business decisions, a lot of things that you need to take into consideration in order to build a career out of it and longevity in the industry. Considering the fact that creator economy is this huge economy, I don't even want to say a number, but it's in the billions. It's valued in the billions. I thought that it was crazy that there is nothing out there from people that are actually practitioners, not theorists, that can truly cultivate an environment for creators to just grow and foster relationships. And originally we just wanted it to be an education platform. You get the courses, you get the education. We filmed a lot of videos and we're constantly updating because it's an industry that every week there's something new. Then I looked at both Rachel and Gary and I was like, you know what? This is about community. Like something for me that was missing so much was being surrounded with like-minded people, the transparency in the industry. I couldn't really go to anybody, even if it was another content creator, another peer, and ask like, how much do you charge? Do you have any legal documents brands signed? Like all these really important questions. We decided that our kind of main thing will be community, and not only that they are getting educated through talking to each other and through conversing with us, they also have the courses and the lessons, the tutorials that they can watch whenever they want to. So we put together this beautiful day-long event. I had the chance to sit down and talk to Emily DiDonato. She came from modeling, and when I say came from modeling, she was literally a supermodel. She didn't come from modeling like me, where I was making money. I was doing a lot of like commercial work. She was literally the face of Armani perfume. She was in Sport Illustrated like 400 times. She was on so many Vogue covers. Like I'm talking about American supermodel. I've known Emily for 5 years or so. I'll never forget how we met because we kind of became social media friends a little bit. We were talking here and there. 5 years ago, I decided that I'm gonna go to Fashion Week. No one invited me for Fashion Week in New York. The brands had zero interest, so I decided to really jump on the opportunity because I knew so many people will be in the city at the same time. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go for Fashion Week, even though I'm not invited to anything, and just take the opportunity to collaborate with people. And honestly, I'm so happy that I did it because I did a video with Emily. We stayed in touch since. I just really love and relate to the way she moves and operates in this industry that can be very tricky. I loved how our members, the questions that they asked, because those were just very direct and honest questions. Like, who do you have on staff? She has 2 little kids, right? And she creates a lot of content. What kind of help do you have in the house? How do you navigate, having a husband that works in a very serious career and you are very busy with your own career, but maybe he looks at that career as a little bit differently. Anyways, a lot of challenges that people go through when they immerse themselves in this. And when I say people, I mean women that are either transitioning from different careers, that want that independence and freedom, and also a place to express themselves and their creativity. These are women with, most of them have kids. So, there's people that depend on you, on your time. So you have to be very on top of it. So I was very excited to sit down with her, and she gave me and us everything we needed and more. There was a lot of inspiration. We repeated, "It's great to suck" multiple times, and you'll get the context when you listen to the episode. So without further ado, this is Emily DiDonato. Emily has been a friend and someone that inspires me for a while now. I don't know if you realize how long we know each other for.
Well, meaning from the first time that we met, or even before that?
Because the first time that we met, I've decided that you're going to be my friend. So
and we were.
That's like our friendship anniversary. In my
I'll
head.
never forget the day you knocked on my door and came into my apartment, and I was like, "Oh, we're friends immediately."
Thank you. So just to give you a bit of a background, I actually came to your apartment 5 years ago, and we shot a drunk get ready with me. It was 25 minutes long, and all we accomplished was putting eyeliner. And I got more and more Russian as the video went on.
I need to go back and rewatch that.
I watched today.
I need to.
And it blew my mind. And we're here. Look at that.
It's still out there on the internet for everyone to go watch after
Truly,
this.
that was one of my cherished memories. So that's how we met. And when today I was looking at that video, first of all, saw our dynamic, and right away spotted kind of your openness and something that I didn't see that much back then in the industry. And back then it was like 5 years ago. When I came that year for Fashion Week, I actually wasn't invited to anything. I wasn't part of Fashion Week, but I decided to reach out to a few people and do collaborations. And when I came to your place and we shot that video, I was just like, this girl is going to connect to so many people. So I'm not surprised that you've managed to build, outside of your very impressive modeling career, you managed to build such a beautiful community online. But I want to take it back. Before I take it back, you're on a coffee hiatus. Are you still on it?
That's correct. So if I seem half asleep right now, that's because I am. Yes, I gave up caffeine because I'm an anxiety girly. Shout out if you guys are too. And I just get to certain points in my life where I have to give it up. So I'm currently in like the zombie phase of that, where I just am like very, very tired. But here I am. You guys are giving me tons of energy. It's totally fine.
I have all these questions to ask, but the number one thing I was like, I need to see if she already broke the coffee thing. Okay.
No.
So we're good. Okay.
We're strong. So
amazing. So I want you to take me back to the early days, because if some of you don't know, Emily DiDonato is, to me, you're one of like those American supermodels. You've seen her face. She was the face of Giorgio Armani. Am I embarrassing you yet?
No.
Okay, good. Maybelline. She's been on Sports Illustrated more times than I can count. The Vogue covers. So many.
Yeah.
Like you've done a lot. So first I want to take it back to the early days. How did that all happen? Modeling as a whole?
I started modeling when I was about 17 years old. I was a junior in high school. I got discovered in a mall, in the Danbury Mall in Connecticut. There was some sort of strange like modeling convention happening there, and people are always like, I always thought those things were scams. And I was like, somehow this one magically was not. It was real. But I met with some managers then, and I came into the city, and I was living in upstate New York at the time where I grew up. And I signed with an agency, a very, very small agency, and I started working literally within a week. I went out to some castings like the day I signed with this agency, and I was shooting a Ralph Lauren campaign a week later. And I was literally, I was a kid, and I was like, I guess I'm a model now. I went back to school and I was like, guys, I'm a model now. And people were like, what? I'll never forget when my first editorial came out. I brought it to school to show my friends because I was like, I'm in a magazine.
No one believed you that you went to the mall, got discovered, and now you're a model.
Yeah, and I was like, look, and everyone was like, that's crazy. So that's how it started. And then I kind of had to make the decision after that, like if I was going to go to college or really pursue modeling full time, which was a tough decision at the time. So I decided to model full time. And then I moved to New York by myself. I lived in a studio apartment downtown and I started cranking. And that's how it all started.
Were you aware that you're getting into an industry that's going to put you out there to such a degree? Because, you know, with content creation, it's like, you know that you have to show up and you have to share yourself. But with modeling, it's a bit not quite clear.
No, it definitely isn't clear. Not in the same way that content is now. You're like, okay, I've seen that like 60,000 people have viewed this one single thing. I think for me, my intentions are going into modeling. Honestly, I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. And I was just kind of like, this opportunity sort of fell in my lap. And I am kind of one of those wooey people who believes that things happen for a reason. And I was like, okay, this is what the universe wants me to do. But then when I decided to do it, I went as hard as I could. Like I was like, okay, I need to make this work and I need to make myself successful because like what in the heck am I going to do now, because I decided to be a model and like I don't understand. So I think that all I knew was that if I'm going to do this, I'm going to commit to it and I need to be good at it and try to be the best at it. That's wonderful. There is a downside to that as well in terms of like the spirals that I went down while I was very, very young. I'm sure you remember this as well from like your days of like being a model as well.
I remember, but it was a different kind of pressure for me because I never got to the level that you were at. I was like I was making great money, but you were like, your face was everywhere. So tell me about those challenges.
Yeah, you know, it's funny actually now that I think about it, because I remember I did this Giorgio Armani perfume that was actually everywhere. Like every single airport that you went to, it was like haunting. It was like the Mona Lisa, like the eyes were following you everywhere. But it was weird because without all that hair and makeup, I was just a kid. I was 17. So actually more people recognize me from that now because of the combination of social media. Because like now people see me online and they're like, oh my God, I know you. I know that face. So I have so much more like recognition from those years. But honestly, like in terms of being exposed and being out there, I just wanted to be successful. And honestly, I wanted to make money. I wanted to make money and I wanted to be successful in whatever I decided to do. So that was kind of my thinking then.
So I wonder the evolution into content creation. Was it still part of that plan? Like, I want to be successful. I want to make money. Because, I mean, you hear it all the time. Mm-hmm. Models, you age out. You become irrelevant. And especially as social media entered the chat, a lot of girls, it was very hard for people to get on it. Mm-hmm. But you were one of the early adapters. Mm-hmm. So tell me about the thought process there.
Yeah, I mean, I think you probably remember this time too. It was like I had been modeling already for like 5, 6, 7 years. And it was like 2012, 2013, and bloggers really started blowing up. And they also started showing up on sets for photo shoots. And I'll never forget, like photographers, stylists, hair and makeup were like, ew, what are these bloggers and influencers? They like, now they're probably hitting themselves on the head, but everyone was very the anti-influencer movement, like, oh, why are these people on set? They're taking our jobs, all of this. And I feel like I was the only one who was like, wait, I'd rather do what they're doing. Like they have it way better. Like I want to take like street style photos outside. I don't want to be on the set for 12 hours a day. Like they've got the way better gig. So I slowly started to like put myself out there more online. Like I had always been kind of going on Instagram because I felt like also during that period, people were like, I don't like taking selfies. And I was like, that's fine. I do. Like, I was like, I have no shame in my game. So I was just like, all right, I'm going to start trying at this. But as you probably remember from the beginning years, which like anything you try at, there are extremely embarrassing moments in photos and videos where you're like, why did I think that was a good idea to put that on the internet? But I was like, I know that longer term, this is what I want to do. I appreciate having more agency over my life and my career. And I want to create. Being a model, I was like a mute. I was kind of just the chameleon. People told me what to do, how to dress, how to be, and I was totally fine with that. But I was just reaching this point where honestly, it was like a combination of being a little bit bored with being a model. It was wonderful, but there's just two-dimensional element to it. And I wanted to be more creative and I wanted to do more. But I don't know if you feel the same way. Like when you first started doing content, like I was just like, this is embarrassing, but I'm going to keep trying.
Well, I think for me, my aha moment, because we come from the same industry, I was sitting by the phone. And I think whenever you work for someone, you come from an industry, like that, you constantly waiting on someone to let you know when you have work. And I just felt so stripped of any kind of power. And when I started seeing social media happening and that these content creators, influencers are starting to build something on their own, just the idea of me speaking my mind and putting it out there whenever I wanted to, taking photos and posting them whenever I wanted to, was so empowering. So it was like the first feeling of I can do this and this can be something, and I don't have to wait for anyone else to come and build something for me.
I completely agree with that. I loved the idea of doing it myself and kind of bootstrapping it and not feeling like I'm waiting for someone else to create a vision, a photo, like I was doing it myself, and also building it off of something that was truly authentic to me. I was like, I just have to be myself and continue to record and create around it. And I just found that really, honestly, really fun.
How did you deal with the criticism? Because it's one thing when you have to deal with it from your friends and family, the world doesn't know you, but you were already very prominent in an industry. You're also in New York. You're constantly around, a lot of tastemakers. And to your point, which some are no, actually, there's no naysayers anymore. There's no these bloggers. But back in the day, I do remember a lot of really big people looked down at the profession and just really didn't want to be associated with it. When you started building your platform, how did you navigate that criticism from everyone else? I'm sure, I don't know if your agency ever was like, Emily, you need to be more of the mysterious girl.
Yes, they were like, this is cringy in a way. I'll never forget, I was shooting a campaign, I think it was for Judith Lieber or something like that, and I brought my camera to vlog it. And the creative team was like, are you a vlogger? What are you doing? And you bet your bottom dollar, the next time they hired me, they were like, oh, can she do BTS too for us? And I was like, yeah. Exactly.
I charge more for that.
Yeah. It was a real quick turnaround because I was like, you liked my cute little video, didn't you? So I think, though, there were definitely moments where people were like, why? By the way, actually, especially in the high fashion realm, there are still people who are like, why would you do this? Why would you spend your time doing this? And I think those people just don't have knowledge around how much general business is around this industry and how many opportunities you can create from it. And then in terms of people saying that they thought it was cringe or they thought that it was embarrassing or why would you do that? I just was like, I don't care. I just honestly was like, this is something that I enjoy doing. I liked creating. And honestly, at that time when I first started creating content, I think we've talked about this, I love editing. That's my favorite part of the whole thing. If I could just sit around and edit content all day long, that's what I would do. So I was like, I just wanted...
I know, I cannot relate.
Yes. I just want to be in a pitch black room and edit all of your content.
But how do you keep hearing your voice?
Huh?
You keep hearing your voice. It's
but it's like art. I just love chopping it up, and especially with YouTube. So there was a point where I was so motivated just to take footage to edit it, which really worked in my favor because I just was constantly cranking stuff out because I wanted to sit in front of a huge monitor and edit. So for me though, that creative outlet was lit a flame for me, a huge moment because I spent so many years kind of being someone else's vision and muse, whatever you want to call it. And then I was just creating my own fun content and things and my own twist and my own take. So I really enjoyed it, but you don't enjoy the editing part.
Well, for me, when I started, I would shoot for an hour, edit for 8 hours.
Yes.
It was so draining.
Now I don't do as much, to be clear. Yes.
But you
evolved.
enjoy it in general.
Yes.
That's great. No, for me, I was like, please just something. So when I look at my videos that I edited on YouTube, which I make sure to keep online, just to check myself, you know what I mean? Once in a while.
Totally.
It's very humbling.
Yeah.
So where did it start for you? Was it on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube?
I started on Instagram for sure. I was one of the first people. I feel like Instagram came out. And by the way, I'm aging myself, but even when MySpace came out, I was on my MySpace page making that thing a thing of art when it came out. Hours and hours of labor.
So you truly saw the vision for social media.
I did. I was obsessed. I think if I went back now, maybe I'd be a graphic design, something like that, because I just love doing it. But when Instagram came out, I was on there with the filters and the sepia. I loved it. I loved putting stuff out there. And then from there, I went on to do YouTube, and you were a huge inspiration for me for YouTube, honestly, because you were already on there and doing an amazing job. And there were just certain people that you would like watch and you would inspire you and be like, you know what, I can do something like that, or I can share something like that. And then of course TikTok rolled around, which by the way, that was a whole other wave of people being like, you're so embarrassing. And I'm sure if anyone jumped on TikTok when it launched, you're glad that you did when you did.
So you're not wrapped up with the comparison game, or a little bit?
No, I would not say that I am. I actually was thinking about this the other day. Like, I feel like the only time, no, I'm not like a jealous person. I wish I had more of that spirit. Chloe knows this. Like, I always say I'm literally like a manatee floating through the ocean. Like, I have no competitive spirit or drive. But the only time that I'm literally like, it's all good. Like, we're all here. There's room for everybody. But the moments that I do get jealous, I get really, or comparative, I get excited. Because for me, I'm like, oh, that means I like want something, or I want to do something. So when I'm like, look at that person like doing that cool thing, and then I'm like, well, then I am like, well, I can do that if I really want to do that. Like, you can do that too. So then I'm like, this is perfect. Like, now I have an idea. Now I have like a vision or a direction or something that I want. But otherwise, I'm just going off vibes.
Just growing vegetables in your garden. Which, by the way, I love your Martha Stewart era.
Thank you.
I really. It came out of nowhere for me. I did not expect it from you.
You and me both. Like, every single day, I'm like, what's happening? But I'm loving it.
So what were the roadblocks? Because it sounds to me like you're very comfortable with yourself. You kind of just, breezing through the evolution and the content and from modeling. There were no challenges on the road? Like, where?
There were. Oh,
Okay.
definitely.
Where did you get stuck?
Like, logistical challenges or spiritual ones, or both?
Girl, everything.
Yeah. Any of the above. I'd say like logistical challenges, which I'm sure you know because you're a content queen. It started to be like, first it was just Instagram, right? Then it's YouTube, then it's TikTok, then it's having a podcast, all these things. Like, I just needed more general help, right? I couldn't sit in a closet and edit all day long, even though that's what I want to do. So I think for me, I had to get more hands to help me out, which honestly, I didn't really start doing that until the last like year or two. So getting help with editing, getting help with like a social media manager to help with all of the community management, posting, sponsored content, and then getting management to like help me with sponsored content.
Like later in your career.
Much later. Like, honestly, I didn't really start making money from social media, even though I was building it for so long. But I had my modeling career still parallel pathing the two, so I had the luxury of that. But I didn't start making real money from social media until like 2 years ago, which is crazy.
Yeah, but I think because you were kind of doing both. You know what I mean?
That's why.
I remember when I was talking to Emily, and I asked you, like, where do you get help? And you literally were like, oh, it's just me.
Yeah.
Girl.
I did that for way too long. I think that like that was my biggest mistake, was like not outsourcing more earlier on with certain things.
Were you scared to let go, or you just didn't know, or you didn't really care to monetize?
No, I very, very, very much wanted to monetize, but I think the other issue is like a lack of consistency in a way too. Like, because I had my modeling career as like sort of this, my general, not fallback, but that was like my career. I wasn't pushing social as much as I could have, as like, because if you want to be a successful content creator, as you guys know, there's like a level of consistency and like formality and staying on top of it that is required. So I don't think I was like putting that in. And also a huge part of that was like finding like a good thought partner and management to help me actually monetize. But I didn't do that. And it took me a long time to get to that point and search for those people, because I think I was waiting for them to come along and be like, hey, but they didn't come along and say, hey. It never came.
So you got a team.
Yes.
A year or 2 years ago.
About 2 years ago, I'd say I like actually have a real team now.
So it started being easier logistically.
It started becoming easier logistically. And also when I say team, meaning outside of management, because they're their own thing. When I say having an editor, social media manager, someone who helps me with content, which is Chloe right here. A lot of these people are freelancers, right?
Yeah.
It's not, when you say team, and I think that sounds like such an intimidating word, sometimes people think that you've got a staff of like 50 people on payroll. No, like a lot of these people are agencies or freelancers who are just kind of helping you out by the hour, or maybe I pay a retainer to certain people. But I'd say I have like 4 or 5 people now who help me.
So that's on the logistical side. Tell me about the challenges that you yourself had to go through, because I would say that a lot of the women in the room, a lot of our members have careers, have families, raising kids. There's a lot in the mix.
Yes.
So what were some of the challenges you gone through?
I mean, I'm sure you feel the same way. I'm curious to hear like what your roadblocks are. I actually need to hear that. I would say that for me, I just have moments where repeat the question. My brain just went.
I think that's a challenge. To keep a thought, like that's my challenge. I can't finish a thought because there's a million things pulling me in all directions. But what were the other challenges you spoke about? Logistically?
Spiritual challenges. The spiritual challenges for me, this is why I said I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it. I just have moments, like especially since I became a mom, where I'm like, do I really want to do this? Is this really worth it to me? It just more so is like I constantly have to prioritize, reprioritize, like what's really worth my time and my energy? Can I really monetize this? Is there like a return on the investment of my time and energy on this? And then spiritually, sometimes with social media in general, I'm like, why the heck am I doing this? I'm showing all of these people, all of this stuff. Is that really what I want? Is this like, what is the right path for me? I should just be out there editing someone else's content and being behind the scenes. I beg Chloe all the time, she won't hire me. Or you, I could ask you, you could hire me. But anyway, so I think
qualified. I'm sorry.
I don't think that's unique to being a creator, though. I think sometimes especially since having kids, though, I'm just like, never mind. I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom in my garden and like do nothing but be with my kids. And then I have like a 3-day weekend with my kids, and I'm like, never mind. I want to be a career woman.
Get me out of here.
Make me a CEO somewhere. So it's just trying to find the balance. It's hard with social. I don't know if
how have you figured out? What is that balance for you? What does it look like? How do you navigate it? I hate the word balance. I feel like we all do. We're very vocal about it now. Women are like not into the balance game anymore.
I just feel like we finally, at least the rumors I'm hearing, the rumblings on social, people are like, there is no balance as a mom. And I also think that it changes literally every single day. Mm-hmm. Like I have moments where I'm like, I need to crank all day on work, and that's exactly what I want to do. Like my brain is there and I need to be there. And then in the days like when we talk about mom guilt or things like that, I get like, my heartstrings are pulling towards my children right now. This stuff just doesn't feel as important. I'm not saving lives. I'm going to punt that thing. I'm not going to do it. Like becoming a mom and also just being a grown up, like I'm 34 years old. I just have moments where I'm like I said, I'm not saving lives. It's not that serious. Like if I feel pulled in a different direction, then like my heart I follow my intuition there. But I would say that the balance game, I mean, it's tough. It just changes literally every single day. Every week I'm like, oh, this like wasn't a great week. I didn't see my kids enough, or I was like with my kids the entire time. Mm-hmm. It's just constantly tweaking it. That didn't answer your question.
No, that answered my question. I think the biggest lesson for me is the rigidity of it all. Mm-hmm. I don't know when we all decided that, that's it. I'm this one thing, and we put the word consistency, which is important, but it needs to have context. It needs to be fluid. And that's what I think the biggest thing that I've learned about being a woman and doing all the things is you have to have that fluidity. You know what I mean? Because we are carrying and playing so many roles, even if you don't have a career. By the way, she also has a skincare brand.
Yes, that too.
Like are you a CEO of that
No.
brand?
No.
What are you?
I'm not the CEO. I'm just the co-founder. It's me and my best friend, Christina, which we launched and did all of that together, which was a whole other set of finding balance.
But you did that when you had...
I was pregnant.
You were pregnant.
I was pregnant.
So you were like, let's add one more thing to the plate.
Yeah, and then it was more prioritization, right? Where I was like, okay, I can only spend this much time on this. I can only give this much creative on this. How much do I give my own platforms, which I'm sure you struggle with too. You have like a million things going on. It's just a constant shuffle. I just feel like it's not a great answer, but it's...
Because that's the real answer. Yeah. The real answer is there is no answer. The answer is to really, let it kind of flow, and sometimes it sucks.
Yes.
And you got to do it anyways, and other times you're like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, but my only advice there, like I said, I get a little wooey sometimes, but like listen to your heart and your intuition. And
listen to your heart.
Exactly. That's what we should have came out to.
It had to come out. I couldn't hold it in. Did you ever had a conversation with your husband where he's like, you're doing too much of this. Like, I need you more here. Because it's a conversation that not a lot of people are having, right?
Yeah.
There's two people, you have small kids, both of you have careers. How does that work?
I always say my husband and I have a weekly meeting. It is like our administrative like conversation meeting. We have an agenda. It is very serious. And that has definitely come up. And we discuss a lot. My husband works in finance, roles and responsibilities, big in our house. Like where, and we always call them green job or blue jobs and pink jobs. Like I'm always like, that's a blue job and I'm not doing that. Not to make it like sexist or anything like that, but I just decide which are blue and which are pink.
I love that. I love it.
And he's like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, a list of blue jobs are coming your way.
Yeah. So yes, there has been times like when I start feeling kind of strung out and I have so much going on, but I do love this for my husband and he's like the king of giving me this advice. He's like, you need to outsource more. When he sees me running around like a chicken with my head cut off, like he was like, I just think you need to bring this person into the house more to help you out more on like these few things or like whatever it might be. Do you need someone to come on the weekends? Cause like one time I remember I was like shooting a Christmas ad and it was like a Sunday. My kids were screaming. My parents were there and he's like, feel like this isn't
This
like
could have been
better.
planned better.
And I'm literally like, shut up, you don't get it. No.
I love that it was a Christmas ad.
Yeah,
just in the
exactly.
spirit.
Insanity. But yes, it comes up a lot. But it's like anything in a marriage. Like I feel like it starts one way and then things change, your careers change, kids enter the picture, and then you have the conversation all over again where you're like, actually, this isn't working. I need you more here. And that goes both ways too. You know, like I'm like, I need you here. So yes, it definitely comes up. But I would say that my husband definitely generally supports like me working and doing whatever it is that I enjoy, that whatever flavor of the week it is. He's like, knock yourself out, get out there, go get them.
I love it.
Yeah.
What I love most about you is that you are not afraid to be seen trying. And that's a big thing for a lot of people. And especially you were already in the public eye. And, you know, whenever me personally, I'm picking up new project, if it was the podcast or, you know, anything else, there's obviously this feeling of like, oh, I know I'm going to suck at this.
Yes.
And everyone's going to see it. And it's going to be annoying to try to figure it out while everyone is watching. How did you, is that something you always had about you? Or
no.
what is the woo-woo behind that?
No, I actually would say that my husband was a really big part of that for me and pushing me to try new things. Guys, I've literally tried everything. Like I modeled, I'm a yoga teacher, I'm a health coach.
Are?
I went to Colombia for a few years. I had a podcast, I have a skincare brand. Like I have a garden now. That's my new project. I will try literally anything. But he was definitely a big part of that. I think, like I mentioned earlier with my modeling career, as grateful as I am for it, it was just like a little bit boring and two-dimensional. And I always was like, and I get this itch even still. Like I literally was talking to my husband. I was like, I think I'm going to go and get certified as a personal trainer. And he was literally like, okay.
Don't you love being a woman?
I was like, I just feel like then I can talk more about this because this is what I enjoy talking about, like wellness, all these things. But no, there were definitely moments where I was like, I'm going to be really, really bad at this. I actually am really, really bad at this. And right now that's happening with my garden. And I'm like, I'm not good at this. And people are yelling at me on TikTok about like the way my tomatoes are
wrong.
Yeah. And by the way, I fully am. But it's so fun to learn. You know what I mean? I feel the same way.
But that's that student mindset.
Yes.
You always had that. Or was that just like a trauma response for modeling?
No, I guess I did
like
kind of always have that. Like I love to learn. I love to try new things. And like, I love learning about people too. Like I'll grill people with a million questions.
So you see, that's something that I had to learn. When I started with social media, I'm a perfectionist and everything that I touched, which by the way, before social media, I didn't touch much because I was like, that's not going to work. So my first reaction is a no. So it was very difficult for me to get to a point where I pick something up and I like really have to do a lot of inner work and a lot of inner coaching to be like, okay, I can do this. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad, but then it's going to get good. Right. So I didn't have that. And in a way, now that we have this community, I love talking about it more because it didn't come naturally to me. Yeah. And I don't think it comes naturally for a lot of people.
No.
It sucks.
No, it sucks to suck. But it's also fun to suck. Another analogy on this? No, wait, hear me out. Like my husband?
Yes.
No.
I want all of you to leave with that in mind. It's fun to suck.
For example, hear me out. Like my husband loves to ski. He's an amazing skier and skied his whole life. He's like the most perfect, amazing skier. And I'm not good at skiing, but guess who loves skiing? me, because it's boring for him, right? Like he's an expert.
Oh, 'cause
he's like
he's so good
slaying
at
down
it.
the mountain. I have to overthink every single turn, but I'm so satisfied when I get to the bottom and I do it right and I do a good job. Like it's still very exciting and gravitating, gratifying for me. So that's my mindset on it. But I guess that's more in my adult life. It wasn't always like that, but that's definitely how I feel now.
Well, it's interesting because now that I'm at this point in my career and a lot of things come, it's a muscle that I've built throughout the years. If it's the filming and the talking and all the things, it's less exciting for me now. I take a lot of things for granted. And whenever I have conversations with people that are just starting or are still figuring it out, I'm like, you guys, this is the golden time now where you are able to not feel quite right. But that's the exciting part.
And discover.
Okay, so it is fun to suck.
Yeah, it's fun to suck.
I love it. Okay, talk to me about, because you had a lot of conversations online. Aside from the fashion and all the fun, you're also very vulnerable online. Something that I've learned throughout the years is that the ability to be vulnerable, but not make it a commodity. A lot of people right now, it's kind of a cheap way to connect, where they crying online and they're just sharing so many things, and we've all been through it. It's not coming from a place of judgment, but more from observation and my own, mistakes that I've made. How did you? Where are you in that?
I think for me, when I share something more vulnerable online, listen, there's plenty of things that I could have posted on the internet that would get tons of views that are like very sensitive. And like, so no, I don't do it that way because if it doesn't feel authentic to me, and if it doesn't feel like it's going to help someone else, then I don't post it.
But you can argue that everything is authentic because it's your story and everything can be helpful.
Meaning if it doesn't, what I mean by authentic, meaning like it doesn't feel right. Like if I film something and I'm like, I just like don't know if this is like gonna make sense, and luckily I have people I can bounce it off of, and I'm like, I don't think this is the right time or place to share something like this. But my number one kind of compass on that is like, I wish that I had seen someone else talking about this. Like when I think about posting something vulnerable, like when I had a miscarriage like about 2 years ago, I was like, I had no idea. Like people talk about these things, they say they're sad, but like I never really heard someone talk it through and how it feels in the moment. So when I shared that, I was like, I feel like this will help someone if they're going through it. And I still get messages to this day of people being like, thank you so much for like sharing that. I feel less alone. So like thinking, not alone, # not alone. That's my compass.
I love it. Have you ever done things that you shared that you regretted?
No, not really. I've never shared anything that I've like regretted in the sense that I was like, oh, yikes. Like, no, I have. And then I deleted it. Yeah.
Wow, I love the power of deleting.
I was like,
we sometimes forget.
And I was like, no. Yeah,
the
you
good
forget.
thing is people have such short attention span that you're like, they forget
They
everything.
forget, yeah.
Was there any point where the negativity online threw you off? The criticism? I know you mentioned, because Emily, you spoke on your body image, a lot of different things. And you mentioned that the most criticism you got was from other women.
Yes, definitely.
And it was during your pregnancy too, which is even greater timing.
Yeah, a lot.
How did you navigate criticism?
Yeah, I would not perfectly great. I would say even super recently, one of my videos went viral that I thought was super wholesome, but the internet got so pissed off about it. And I was shocked by how negatively it impacted me for a few days. Because the comments and the views were not stopping. And you have that moment where you're like, should I delete that? Like, is it really that bad? I showed Kyle.
Is so good.
Yeah. And then Kyle was like, don't delete it. Like, it's totally fine. Because he was in the video. And I'm like, Kyle, you have 7 million views on TikTok. And he's like, for doing what? And he was like, oh my God, who cares? He's a good compass for that kind of stuff. But no, it did impact me. And then that's where I have moments where I'm like, it's time to put down the little internet, which I call my phone. I'm like, the little internet and I need to take a break because we're getting really jacked up over this. And this is not my real life. Like, these are not my actual people. I need to go look at my kids, go touch grass, and just bring it all back together and bring it back home to earth. But it's hard because your phone's right there. You're like, what do they say now? What do they say now? But sometimes you have to disconnect.
No, you have to disconnect. Yeah. It's like in my schedule to disconnect.
Oh, that's so smart.
Yeah, I have your blocks
when is it?
Day.
Every day?
Every day, twice, throughout the day.
No phone?
Yes. I go and I sometimes touch grass. Sometimes I touch my pillow, whatever it takes. Okay, I want to get into Q&A because I'm so curious to know if anyone has specific question to Emily. You are a wealth of knowledge, so I want to open it up to our members.
You cannot answer this question, but I'm dying to know.
Oh, man.
What a start, okay?
How old are your kids, and what's your childcare situation? Are they in daycare? Do you have a nanny? Is it full-time? Is it part-time? Do you have two?
Yeah.
Babysitter situation, weekend situation? Do you have a personal assistant? Do they come to your house? Is it in person? Is it virtual? Who are the people? Who are they? What's their role? What's their position? What do you outsource? I want to know that.
I think that's
I want to know
great
the people
question.
behind you.
Do
You know?
Yes, I'm going to answer.
Because I feel like you look like you do by yourself.
No.
And then it makes me feel like,
Oh my God, no.
I should be able to do it, but I can't.
No.
Okay.
I feel like
No.
every entrepreneur online need to have a secondary account where it's BTS and you just see
Yes.
the behind the scenes of that operation.
Yeah.
Like
I always share online that I have a nanny. I'm just like providing context, but I always try to understand that it's a sensitive topic to be like, well, don't worry, I have this and I have this person. People are like, cool, that's super not relatable, but I do think it's important to be honest at the same time. And also, I have a husband. My husband works nonstop. Like, he is not home. He's traveling constantly. So like when I'm outsourcing, it's like for my own being and spirit. I have a full-time nanny, and she will work on the weekends if I want her to. Actually, she worked today for a few hours. And then I have a housekeeper, but she comes like 2-3 times a week, depending on what goes on in the house. Don't have technically like an assistant, but in terms of like career and work, I have a social media manager. So she helps me with like a lot of administrative sponsored content, posting, ideation, analytics, all of that. Then I have Chloe here who helps me with content filming, and she's an amazing creative and thought partner. I have someone boots on the ground in Westchester where I live, someone who helps me shoot content whenever that's needed, but that's more ad hoc. And then I have my management that helps me with like social, which I think I've already told you guys. Forgive me if I'm repeating myself. And then at home, well, I'm like, how far can we go? I don't do my own landscaping, but I do my own gardening. But I'm like, I have landscapers, stuff like that.
I like it.
Yes, but like a lot of that stuff is outsourced. And a lot of the reasons behind that is because my husband is not owning his blue jobs.
Yeah.
He should be out there doing that landscaping.
Follow-up question. What does a week look like? Are you glam every day? Are you doing content every day? Are you glam like Mondays and Wednesdays? Are you like slumming it Tuesdays and Thursdays? Like on ogre? Like, do you look like an ogre ever? Like, I need to know.
Yes.
Okay,
That's such a great question. I want to know if you feel this way too. Like, I'm always like, I should every single day, because it's literally my job, like wake up, get dressed, do my hair and makeup, but then I could make so much more content, but then I'm always like, not today, like I'm over here.
I also love because you made a statement that getting dressed is nature's antidepressant or something.
True, yes.
Okay, so you gotta, in order to know that, you have to have the ogre days.
It does help so much. Even coming here, I was like, what a boost of morale. I feel so cute. But I would say that I try to like block off time for content. I would say 3 days a week, and it always has to be in the morning from like 9 to 1-ish. Like I always work out before that and then get in there, and I'm always in my bathroom shooting content. I'm always in there. It's basically my office. I don't know why it all goes on in there. And that's usually like my window. And then I end up either editing calls or anything that I don't want to do happens after like 2 or 3 p.m. when my brain no longer works. Yeah, for sure.
So I've watched your journey throughout the years and your struggle with body confidence, and I think every single woman can relate to that. I'm a registered dietitian, and nutrition, body image, holding space for your body. And I'm a mom. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and the research shows that as young as 4 years old, girls are trying to make their body smaller. Mm-hmm. So you show up with so much confidence, both of you, honestly, and so much like humor and levity. What would be the advice if you had a 4-year-old daughter, and like from a professional statement, but also as models and influencers, what would be the advice you'd want to give to the younger generation on how to talk to themselves and what helps you be confident in a space where people are kind of cruel sometimes?
Oh, totally. I mean, I have a 3.5-year-old. So like, I feel like the way I talk about my body and food is already like very alert in my mind, and sometimes I have to make sure I don't skew too far in the other direction to make her like crazy, because I'm literally like, we can't cause issues around this. But the way I think about it is I try to think about it when I talk about food. This is good for us. This makes us strong. We eat our protein because we want to be strong. Same with working out. Like my daughter sees me working out every day. I'm like, I want to be strong. Like me and dad are super strong. Like I try to think about it from a full wellness perspective in terms of like being well, feeling strong, being healthy. I always say like I eat this way because I want to live as long as I can so I can hang out with you until I'm so old, and just really stay away from speaking about my body negatively, obviously in front of her, but also in my mind, because I always say sometimes like I really had to stop speaking and thinking about myself so negatively because I was afraid, here comes my wooiness again, that energy was going to like leak into my household, you know? It's hard, but then we get hit with things and you're like, oh my God, everyone's skinny again, everyone's on Mounjaro, like, oh, I don't know. So it's hard, but I have to like keep myself in check, and I really just try to keep it from like a wellness perspective. Does that make sense? I hope that was helpful though. But if you figure it out, let me know.
Yeah, seriously. Anybody, please.
What do you wish you would have known before starting your line? Or what were, like, if you could have done it over, like, what are some of the things that you would have done differently?
Oh my God, there's so many things. I think that the main thing, and I'm sure you can relate to this, I'm curious, in starting a business is like, I had so much self-doubt and felt like because I was a model, I wasn't educated in a traditional way that, how could I know? How could I know? And then I started sitting in on these marketing calls and I was like, actually, you don't know. And I was like, and I actually know more than you about this. But it took me a long time to find my voice. But I think what I would say was like, you need to trust your gut and that you know, in general, this can apply to anything way more than you think you do. And I feel like as women, even more than you give yourself a second to think that you do, but it takes you a moment to like muster up the strength to own that, but like to have that confidence.
But why skincare line? I would think it's so saturated.
It is.
It was.
It's so
I remember
saturated.
when we came out with the clothing. Like now looking back, why did we even go into
I know,
clothing?
I know.
I should have kept it at accessories, and that probably would still be alive, you know, and around.
Yeah.
So what was the market research where you were like, yeah?
I mean, I just loved beauty and I loved skincare so much. And when we started working on Covey, it was like the height of Korean beauty when people were doing 10, 12 steps. And I was like, I started like my skincare beauty life doing Proactive, Clinique, like a 3-step routine. And I was like, there's no super simple, clean 3-step routine that's really approachable, easy. And this was even prior to becoming a mom, because I had been a model. I was doing all the steps and my skin was like horrible at one point because I was doing everything, all the steps. And I went to my derm and she was like, it's way more simple than that. It's way easier than that. Like you need to pull it back. And then that kind of started the conversation with me and my co-founder. But it is a very saturated space and it is difficult to break through.
Hi, I'm Ellie. I really enjoyed learning about you today. I also do love editing. I like to do a lot of stuff. Like I want to start a business. I'm a software engineer, but I've like switched careers. Now I want to do editing full time. How do you stay in your lane? Like I'm speaking to my husband, saying to him like, oh, I want to do editing full time now. I want to be a creator. And he's like, okay, whoa, slow down. You like want to do everything, but how do you know that this is the thing that you want to do, especially for someone who just like loves doing everything, you know?
Yes. I think like for me, if something piques my curiosity and I'm interested in something, even though I just said, I'm like, I want to be hired full-time somewhere as an editor somewhere. It's how can you dip your toe in, right? Like for example, I'm going back to my garden. I have 3 really small raised beds. And now I tell my husband, I'm like, we got to block this whole area. I'm going to knock it all down and make it an entire garden. But my point is, I just dip my toe in, right? Just get started small, test things out, see how it goes. And sometimes I secretly don't even tell my husband when I'm like playing around with things because I know he's going to be like, what are you doing now? That's happened with the raised beds. So I think it's like starting small, bite-sized, dip your toe in. But I think one of my biggest mistakes, I'm tempted to make huge commitments and be like, this is what I'm going to do. This is who I am now.
That's
all
me.
I'm going to do. But that's not who you are. That's not who I am. That's not who most people are. I think it's just being fine with like continuing to like, I'm an anthropologist. I just like to like learn a little bit about everyone and everything, and that's okay. But I just think it's not like labeling yourself as one thing. That's like a disservice in itself, you know?
But when you decided to go all in on content creation, because that's a great question, honestly, I feel
True.
like I can relate as well, where I have all these different interests. And some of them feel like, okay, this is like the flavor of the week.
Yeah.
But others, I'm like, this could be something. So how did you decide, okay, I'm going to hone in on social media or any other things? I don't know how long your Martha Stewart era is going to last, but how do you know when it's time to like go in.
Yeah,
You know?
that's
The
a good question.
consistency.
I think that like if I get into it and I dip my toe in and I'm really enjoying it, and then I kind of have a moment where I have to have, this is where my husband comes in handy because I need to have like a real rooted and grounded conversation.
That's the blue job.
That's the blue job where I'm like, is there like a return on my time and energy and investment here, or am I floating off into the abyss? Like we're not sure. So having someone like a good thought partner to be like, you know, here's how why I like doing this, how I do this. Could I make money doing this? Does that even matter? It might not. You might just have a hobby, and that's kind of. But sometimes just letting joy like guide you is fine too, especially when it comes like to a hobby. But yeah, I don't know if that answers like
no,
the
that
question.
answers.
You
That
have
was
to
really
have like
helpful.
the combo though of like a realist and
Yeah.
like allowing your creative spirit to speak.
Okay, so we wrapped up on the Q&A. Emily, thank you so much. I'm leaving this conversation. I mean, I knew a lot about you before, but
Yeah.
I'm leaving this conversation with this newfound love for you because I love the idea of playing. I love the idea of curiosity, the student mindset. Again, the things that I love most about you is the fact that you are constantly trying new things. You're taking people along for the ride. And it just makes us feel like it's not that serious, you know?
That's how
It helps me to move lighter in the world. So
Yeah.
I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Thanks for watching, guys.
And thank you for
Listening.
coming.
Thanks for having me. So fun.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't miss my newest episode right here. And if you're listening to the podcast on Apple or Spotify, please go and leave a review with your biggest takeaway. I love reading your thoughts. They inspire me. So if you have any suggestions for guests or topics, you can leave them in the comment section. And always, always remember, you are not alone.